right, welcome to the next episode of Athletics for Life podcast. With our show, we're just trying to promote all the lessons that you learn through sport and kind of connect the dots between athletes, coaches, and their parents. And in today's episode, we have a former ISU alumni. So I'll let Mr. Coops, Jeff, I'll let you introduce our guest for today.
Yeah, so we are very happy that we have Buyanaa on the podcast today. Buyanaa is an ISU alumni, played all sports, and graduated 3 years ago, Buyanaa?
Yeah, class 2018.
2018, and currently Buyanaa is in the US Navy, and that's amazing, and it's a great story. So Buyanaa, could you start by talk a little bit of who you are and why did you go to the Navy?
Okay, so I'm Buyanaa Boldbaatar, 20 years old, and as Mr. Cruz has said, I'm a ISU alumni, class 2018, and my senior year there, I applied to the United States Naval Academy, and I got accepted. The United States Naval Academy is one of the 3 military academies in the United States. And it is a very prestigious academy. It's a prestigious institution with a very rigorous physical, moral, and mental mission. And the reason why I applied there was, it's just I guess it's my desire to help others. The whole reason why I joined the military was to help others, to improve people's living situation, to make some sort of impact in Mongolia. And so I drew a contract with the Mongolian military to serve 5 years after I graduate from this institution. And currently I'm a junior at the Naval Academy. And at the Naval Academy, the physical mission is integral to succeeding here at the Academy. And so the physical mission encompasses everything. There are physical fitness tests, standardized.
Can you talk a little bit, Buyanaa, about like the day-to-day structure? Oh.
Okay, so the day-to-day structure. The academics is very rough, obviously. I'm a mechanical engineering major. I'm struggling, but I'm moving along. And so the day-to-day structure would be, I would wake up around 5:30 in the morning. I'll get my morning workout in, mostly cardio. So I'd do 3 miles and then 15 minutes on the jump rope, and then do my 100 push-ups in the morning, and then shower. I'd finish around 6:40, 6:50. Shower, then go eat my breakfast, a very nutrition breakfast from the academy. Very protein heavy. So basically what you're doing is loading up.
Mm-hmm.
And then at 7:45, classes start. It's from 7:45 to 3:30, we have class. And after 30, we have a sports period. Mm. So you can do whatever sport you want. And sports period is from 1600 to 1800.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody must do a sport. Every midshipman at the academy must do a sport. It is part of the physical mission. And so you can do sports varying from intramural sports to varsity athletics like football, soccer, basketball, rowing, a sport I've never even heard of before, rowing. And then there's wrestling, golf, believe it or not, tennis. And so because I'm not American, most of the varsity athletes here are recruited. They're scouts sent out over and recruited. And I really wanted to join the varsity wrestling team or some sort of varsity sport, but I couldn't because I wasn't recruited. So instead I picked up multiple different sports, like combat sports, like judo. And over the summer recently, I picked up tennis. So over the summer, during the whole lockdown thing, I would play tennis from 9 a.m. in the morning to 1700. So give or take 7 hours, just out there, just sweating just in the hot sun in Maryland. It'd be around like 90 Fahrenheit.
Hey, Buena. So I haven't spoken to you in a while now, and I had the privilege to work with you as a coach in the volleyball team, and
Mm-hmm.
you played all the sports. And I remember, and we actually had Dulgun from ASU on the podcast last week,
Mm-hmm.
volleyball player. And I remember that moment we were talking about the final ASU CISB. And remember when you were watching the game, you were very nervous. The intention,
Yeah,
remember? I see a totally different person in front of me. You're calm. You think about what you're saying. You talk in 1800, 1700 hours. You're very structured. What do you feel a change in who you are, Buena, since that time?
absolutely, absolutely. This institution forces you to become responsible. It forces, so this institution is designed for you to fail.
Mm,
So it
love it.
puts you in situations where you fail all the time. But what really matters is how you bounce back from failure. And so you learn from these things. And for me at the Naval Academy, one of my biggest failures would be just to handle the overload. So the overload can come from many different aspects as well. For like as I said before, the physical mission, the academic mission, the moral mission. So the moral mission, the academy is unlike any other uh, regular college. There's a strict military structure. There's a midshipman. Midshipmen is what we call cadets or students at the academy. So midshipmen have a specific military structure, leadership. There's a company commander, first sergeant, platoon commander, platoon sergeant, squad leader, fire team leader, and then squad in the squad. And so everybody is designated a particular leadership role. So the first year you come in, you come in as a plebe, bottom of the totem pole. And the first year you are treated like absolute crap. They will pour the rules. They'll be your upper class will be in your face screaming at you. You would not know what to do. And there's so many things that you have to handle. So and you're like juggling your priorities. So from there, for my freshman year, what I learned is to prioritize. Some things can be done later. Some things has to be done now. And that really developed your critical thinking skills. And they would instill discipline, very rigorous stoic discipline on the students there. You would have to follow a particular set of rules. There's conduct, and there's just so much that goes into this institution. And one takeaway for me is, one takeaway that I've learned so far in my 2 years here is to be very meticulous and calm and composed in what you do. Always think twice and proceed with confidence. Even when you fail with confidence.
You mentioned that it's kind of set up for you to fail, and you've got to learn to bounce back. Do you think your time at ISU and your involvement in sports there has helped prepare you for that? Just learning how to lose, learning how
absolutely.
to respond?
Absolutely. Life is very competitive, and at ISUs, their sports are a big part of the community. And so struggling to go to morning practices, showing up to practices after school. Like I remember we practice sometimes in the morning, after school, and it'd be just a complete drag and you'd be very fatigued, but even still you have to pull through. And so that the habit becomes very important to you later on, because in order to become a disciplined man, or in order to become disciplined, you have to have habits, develop good habits. And developing good habits is virtue, good virtue. And that's how you become a good man.
Okay. Buena, you are representing Mongolia over there. How does that feel for you to represent a nation, not only yourself? Is that something, a different dimension to the whole being there over in the US?
Absolutely. I am representing my entire country. I'm representing Mongolia here at the Naval Academy. And it's a huge deal. Foreign exchange is
Are there more
a
Mongolians
huge
or
deal.
are you one, Buena?
I am not the only Mongolian at the academy. So there are 3 Mongolian midshipmen at the academy, 2 juniors and a freshman. And it is huge because they get, so what the exchange program allows is exposure to different cultures, particularly military cultures. And this exchange, so to the Americans here, I am the Mongolian military.
Cool.
Because that's the only interaction they'll most likely get from like a Mongolian military representative.
Right.
And so the pressure and responsibility is absolutely immense.
Buena, we worked a little bit in your preparation to go there. Did you feel you were prepared enough, or there's no way you can prepare for that? What you might have done different if you could have done it over again?
I remember that before this my senior year ended, Mr. Groups and I did this training, and I will say that helped a lot. You can never be completely prepared for anything, but that helped me a lot, especially combat swimming, combat style swim stroke, survival swim stroke, and deep water diving, and like just sports in general, like training, hitting the gym, and then the physical mission aspect of that, we really hit on it during that training. So your body, so what you have to do is break down your body so it can build it back up again. And so that comes through your training. And training with groups has helped me a lot, especially in the water, during my freshman year, because at the Naval Academy, you have to swim. And there are so many different ways to swim. So many. And the most important, most fundamental one they teach is survival swim stroke. And I remember training it with Mr. Coops here. And yeah, I was afraid at first. I still remember I did not enjoy it, but eventually I got used to it, and it became one of the fundamentals. One of the fundamentals here. And so at the academy, there's a 3-year swimming program. Your freshman year, you have to swim, I believe it's 400 yards in under 8 minutes.
Wow.
Your sophomore year, it's 800 in under 11 minutes. And my junior year, it's 30 minutes of nonstop continuous swimming in open water, survival swim. And you have to be in complete uniform too. So there's drag while you swim, everything's weighing you down and you're like slow, but there's a benchmark that you have to hit. And then without that training with Mr. Coops, I would not have been exposed to this at all.
Got a question, CD?
Just kind of a comment. I'm just hesitant to jump in because I think my internet's the one that's probably slowing us down. Actually, when I was a junior, before my junior year and senior year in high school, I went to a intensive wrestling camp out at the Naval Academy. Wow. And I can just remember how structured everything was. The motto was, if you're on time, you're late. And if you're late, you don't want to be late. So like to get there early, get lined up before our morning runs, before wrestling practice. And I did fairly well. I handled the physicality of it pretty well. There was a lot of running. I was a runner. The wrestling was fine. I was in pretty good shape. But I do remember the one thing that killed me was the swimming. You know, it seemed like every evening session there was a pool element to it, and like I've never thought I was gonna die so many times in my life as like in the pool, you know, just treading water, just doing kicks on the side. And it was never in like the shallow end and like the meter and a half end. It was always in the diving pool. And so like there's no chance you're touching the bottom. And so yeah, I'm glad you touched on that because I was curious how a Mongolian kid in, you know, landlocked Mongolia handled the swimming aspect that comes along with being at the Naval Academy.
Again, that comes down to practice. I would swim every day with any free time I got. I would tread water for 20 minutes at a time. So 30 minutes hands in water. No, 30 seconds hands in water, 30 seconds out of water. And I just nonstop for 20 minutes. And then after that, I would go swim 1,800 yards. And then that'd be my swimming done for the day.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Hey, Buena, in these international schools and also at ISU, we have these core sports, right? You play volleyball, basketball, soccer, and we have a bit more swimming coming up. What would you like to see in addition to those sports offers for the kids who would like to pursue the kind of way you've been going? What would you would have liked to have as an extra practice preparation for this training you're doing right now?
And so one thing I'd really like to hit on is diet. Proper nutrition. So at least to be educated on what kind of food you should be eating, when you should be bulking, when you should be cutting, what kind of proteins or creatines and all that supplements that you should use to develop yourself. And then it also comes down to commitment. Some sort of maybe, I would like to say CrossFit it'd be difficult, but it does come in handy sometimes. But in general, one of the bigger sports, I think volleyball, basketball, and soccer are absolutely fundamental because it develops your situational awareness, your reflexes, your ability to make decisions like this at a moment's notice, and teamwork. Teamwork is absolutely vital.
Yeah, that's great when you say that, Buena, because I think diet, like health is your wealth, right? It's a life skill. You need to know what to put in your body to perform. And now we are in Mongolia, so the food is different here, right?
Absolutely,
yes. And we had a great talk with the Moon Enkebayer last week about that. And when she came back from the US, she was actually a little bit struggling with the food, with what to eat, what not to eat. And the Mongolian diet is very dense, very heavy. So can you just explain a little bit what you eat on a daily basis? Because you said high in protein, is it a lot of like meat, or is it just a lot of dairy products, or can you explain a little bit what you're eating these days?
So I would eat food that would be prepared by the school. And the school, every Monday is the same, every Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, all days they're the same. And it's like that. And so my first 2 years at the academy, I just ate meat. I would just eat like meat, veggies. And then I noticed that I was getting fatigued quite easily. And that was really a big barrier towards developing it was a very big barrier because I was struggling to, let's say I wasn't struggling, I just wasn't performing as much as I wanted to on the standardized fitness test. So the standardized fitness test consists of a strength portion and a run portion. The strength portion the previous old strength portion would be 101 push-ups in under 2 minutes, 101 sit-ups in under 2 minutes, and a maximum of a 10:30 mile and a half. And so I would hit around maybe 85 push-ups, 70 something sit-ups, and a 10-minute mile and a half. And as soon as I changed my diet to a vegetarian one, surprisingly, Mongolian being a vegetarian.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
But I would say I'm not a hardcore vegetarian. I just limited the amount of red meat I would eat, or just meat in particular. So I would have the occasional chicken here and there, but mostly be comprised of beans, veggies, and just vegetarian meals. I would eat a banana, an apple, along with my protein supplement. And then once I got into that diet, I noticed that my fatigue went away. I would become tired. It would take a lot longer for me to become tired. And I noticed I could perform exponentially better than I did before. So with the new diet, along with some preparation, I went into I took the standardized fitness test, and I maxed everything. I maxed the push-up portion, the strength portion, and the run. I cut down my run time by 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Wow.
So I'll do a mile and a half in 8 minutes, 30 seconds.
Good.
That's pretty good.
CD, anything from your side? Question?
Not everyone that goes through our sports programs here in like UBAC and stuff are going to go to the extremes that you went through. But even so, what advice would you have for students to kind of make the most out of it, to prepare them for the next step in their life, whether it's just going to university where like a normal university where there's not so much focus on the physical side of it and as structured as the Naval Academy, but also to be in a position where if they so choose, they could go to the Naval Academy like yourself. What advice would you have to current athletes and young athletes in our programs?
What I would focus on is commitment, to not ever, basically just don't give up. Always believe in yourself, even if you fail, or if there's moments you feel like you want to quit everything, drop everything. You want to maybe tone it down a little bit and then push back on later on. And now say it again. For me, the most game-changing thing was controlling my diet. Because once I controlled my diet, I could control my appetite. And then if I could control my appetite, I could control almost every aspect of my life. Like what time I wake up, when I do my homework, when I work out, how long I can do things. So if you can control your appetite, you can control your life.
Wow. Well, Brandon, that's awesome, because that's wanting something like a pizza, that's a choice that make you happy for the next 5 minutes, right? But not eating that, putting something healthy in your body is a good choice for the many days or your workouts that you need to test on, right? So you say that's your main game changer to succeed in this program, right? Your diet. That's interesting.
Yeah, and another thing is, I'm sure others have said this before, it's just commitment. Just turn it into a habit. Because before I would hate waking up in the morning to work out, but now it's my favorite time to work out. It's in the mornings, because you get your blood pumping, you're ready to hit the day, you're awake, and you just want to conquer the day.
Yeah, it's funny, Brian, because I remember those morning practices, and it was sometimes mainly you coming a little bit late. Remember those like
Yep.
6 a.m.
Yep.
practices ready, and I see you change man in front of me, man. You look fit, you look healthy, and you're very methodical with your thoughts. And it's great that you made such improvements over these last 2 3 years, and it's great to see, man. It's great.
Yeah. And I'll say this proves you have helped me a lot to like
Buena, it
prepare
all
for
starts
this.
with when you want something, right? You have to work for it, and also for kids looking, and you have to go to certain people that have some skills that can help you, but you have to do it,
Mhm.
Buena. So if you wouldn't show up for the swimming lessons, I would have just doing something different, right? But you showed up. You want to learn, and I think that's key. You have to make that switch. Only you can do that, and I just helped you, and that's it. Not too many props to me. All the props to you for putting in the hard work. Yeah, that's great. It was great to be part of that.
And one funny thing I picked up is jump roping.
Sorry again.
One funny thing I picked up is jump roping.
Jump rope. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll jump rope for 30 minutes and that'd be my cardio done.
Jump rope
It'd
is
be
tough.
equivalent. It is tough. I try to do it nonstop for 30 minutes every day. Because the cool thing about jump rope is you can practically do it anywhere. So once with this whole COVID-19 pandemic hit, the academy went into lockdown. So all the gyms were closed and so forth. And so everybody was restricted to working out with practically their own body weight. And so I picked up jump roping, pull-up bars. Like you can turn practically anything into a pull-up bar.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned
Like
it because Mongolia just got into lockdown, right, city?
yeah, I heard.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
So yeah, we'll have to start to get creative to on how to work out, especially teaching PE lessons on just keeping in mind what kids don't do and don't have in their house as far as like just getting a workout in.
Uh,
Jump roping will be
I,
on the
I I would
list for
say
sure.
maybe as most fundamental, start with push-ups, maybe 300 push-ups a day, or even some sort of abdominal or leg workout. That
Hmm.
at least 15 minutes a day is just enough, I think. If you just constantly do 15 minutes a day and then slowly add on to that time, you can see a change in your body. You feel a lot healthier
awesome.
and you feel a lot more confident when you feel more healthy with your body.
CD,
And
you got anything?
yeah,
Just waiting for you to.
I'm just kind of reflecting here on how awesome of an experience this is for me to kind of do this podcast. And for us as coaches, sometimes we don't always get to see the fruits of our labor. Yeah, we might do well in a tournament, but like for Jeff and myself, we're trying to instill those life lessons and instill these um, kind of the education-based philosophies that we're trying to cover. Uh, so that way you carry those later into life. And I don't think if we hadn't done this podcast that we don't always get to see that as coaches, right? Like we hope that kids picked up these lessons. We hope they learned something. And so I was just thinking kind of, in my head, like how cool this is to, be able to see it. I didn't coach you, Buena, but, I can see and just hear it in Jeff's voice. How kind of awesome it is for him too, to see how you've changed, how you've matured, how you've taken the lessons you did learn and appreciated the time that Mr. Coops has given you, and now from there kind of are on your own path, and so it's just cool for me to reflect on.
Yeah, it's sorry, Brian. I'll just continue on that. Like this is why we do what we do. We started this podcast just to share with coaches, with students, to give people inspiration and to have great
mhm.
stories. And with you, I just spend a few hours with you to work with you, and that might have a ripple effect in the future. When you come back here, you will make a difference to this country. and I can see that it's very close to your heart, like in Mongolia. Same for CD and I, very close. Yeah, that's great. I can see it. Your whole demeanor is different. You know how you look, how you talk. It's great. It's great. And I don't know. I know we talk sometimes over chat, and I haven't seen you for a while, but it's great to see that change. And I can just be proud to be part of that. It's not about me. It's not about us. It's about these kids making a change, doing something cool. And you really showed it. And yeah, I'm very proud of you, man. I'm very proud.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, Buena, we're going to the end of our talk. Are there any things you want to share with if a student at ISU, grade 8 or 9, who sees you, is watching this podcast, what would you share with them? Kind of message for them.
What I would share is make that small change. To make that small change, make that small commitment. And you'll see later on, those small commitments can have a huge impact on who you want to become. And even if you're having a rough time, you have bad habits, there's plenty of time to fix it. And if you fail, don't worry. Don't think about it. Just think about bouncing back, how you could improve, what you learned from your mistakes or failures, and how you can use that to improve yourself. That's what I would leave off with.
Awesome, man. That's great. CD?
That's awesome. Yeah, well, with that, thanks a lot for coming on, Buena. I know just from my time at the wrestling camps at the Naval Academy, like how much you value your sleep. And so, thanks for staying up late and chatting with us. We definitely appreciate it. Yeah,
Buena.
thank you.
Buena, is there anywhere that we can follow you or look for more information, or do you have an Instagram account, or what do you use to communicate? And maybe people want to get in contact or see what you're doing? Nothing?
I'll do Facebook or my email. I'll share my details with Mr. Coops.
We'll do that. Okay.
Fun fact, as of now, I am trying to train for the Marine Corps screener and SEAL screener.
Wow.
So that's what I'm training for.
Awesome, man.
That's awesome.
That's great. So sky's the limit for you, my friend. Push it hard. Yep. Doing a great job. And CD, I can say that Buena, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast today. You are an inspiration to a lot of students, for those who work with you, and keep up the good work, my friend. And yeah, we're going to finish this podcast. So thank you so much for your time, Buena, and have a good night's rest over there.
All right. Thank you. I enjoyed this.
Thank you so much, Buena.
See Anytime.
Yeah, thanks, Buena.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.